the Islanders had a second time to get Kenzie up out of this villa, and they have failed. They have failed. They have flopped. They did not understand. Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. So, today we are talking Love Island USA Season 8, Episode 27, you guys. And we've got an hour and 20-minute episode tonight on this. So, for Friday episode, I believe there's 10 episodes left. We are pushing through. We are almost done with the season, y'all. And I can't wait. So we got a conversation, you know what I'm saying, outside of the girls' dressing room upstairs between Anaya, Trinity, and Melody, 3/4 of the core four. And ultimately, you know what I'm saying, they wanted the tea on the conversation between Kenzie and Anaya from the last episode. And basically, Anaya told the girls that Casey owned up to every single thing, and she forgives him, and she feels that he deserves to be happy, and that she's not a malicious person. She doesn't wish ill on people. It is not in her character. And ultimately, everybody deserves to feel loved and feel wanted. Then they asked as well, how does, Anaya feel about Carl, right? And so she said that she is so happy around Carl. She said that they have a lot of sexual energy. They've been making out nonstop. Production, where's the footage? Production, where is the footage of Anaya and Carl making out all up on this villa? But yet you want to use Anaya to be the villa therapist like you did week 1 and week 2. You didn't want to show her connection with Casey. And Neil, you want to show us endless conversations with Casey now that they're not together anymore. Make it make sense. And we see nothing of Carl and Anaya's connection. Why did we vote him back for him to get 0 screen time? Because someone make it make sense. It is really the audacity. So anyways, Anaya said that they haven't been doing anything else. There's no French frying or anything like that. Keep in mind at this point in time, they are not in a couple. So then the conversation switches over to Sincere and the fellas. So Sincere, Corbin, and Casey, right? So there is, they're trying to get the tea from Casey on how did your conversation go with Anaya, because it's the Anaya and Casey show. It is the Anaya and Casey show. But listen, I'm not going to hold y'all. We can't have Casey's family and Anaya's family in the villa at the same time for family day. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be happening. Not the way the fan bases go back and forth with each other. I feel like we got to do something about that. Nonetheless, Casey is so excited. He is so relieved. He said he doesn't feel any more stress. He said he felt like all day, you know what I'm saying? He was feeling a certain type of way. He admits, Casey admits he should have been more transparent with Anaya from the beginning, and things could have been different. And I agree, Casey. You finally are saying things I agree with. If you were honest with Anaya about wanting to explore Soul, I feel like all of this could have been avoided. You could have explored Soul, you know what I'm saying, seeing if there was something there or not, and then potentially could have rekindled things with Anaya. You could have let Anaya know, hey, let's be a friendship couple heading into Casa Amor, or whatever the case may be. Then that gives Anaya the freedom to fully explore Carl and not reading your letters and not talking about no fine, S-H-I-T, you know what I'm saying, at Casa Amor. So I agree with that as well. So then, you guys, we go back to the girls. We go back to 3/4 of the core four, and Mel is basically, they're asking Mel about Sincere. And so she says, she's tired of the work. She wants some action. She likes how they are together. She doesn't want to feel like a fool. She's conflicted on whether she wants to take him back. And the girls are like, understandable. And this is what I'm talking about, y'all. The whole villa, well, most of the villa, wants Sincere and Melanie together, but y'all only got smoke for Anaya. Why is that? Why didn't y'all have smoke yesterday for Bryce? basically saying Sincere did whatever he did in Casa Amor, but he was always going to come back to you because he sees a life with you outside of the villa. Why didn't you say anything to Bryce and Melanie as he was trying to have a private conversation with her to basically convince her to take Sincere back? Why do y'all make Anaya the source for all of your problems? I just got to know. Can someone let me know in the comments? So anyways, there was a conversation on whether or not Melanie wanted to share a bed with Sincere at this point. And so ultimately, you know what I'm saying? Trinity, everybody else, they're like, listen, you do you. And it didn't sound like, to me, I didn't get the vibe that Trinity and Anaya wanted Melanie to be in the bed with Sincere at this point. To still, like, if you're still wrestling with your feelings, you know what I'm saying? One of y'all got to be out in soul ties. One of y'all got to be out in soul ties until y'all, you know, decide on what it's going to do. We obviously know that Melanie is going to take Sincere back, which is why I do not know why y'all get upset at these Islanders. Obviously, they live with Melanie and Sincere 24/7. And yes, Melanie has these crash outs. Yes, clearly this is emotionally draining. Yes, she cries. Yes, she cusses Sincere out. But what happens at the end of the story? Melanie ends up back with Sincere. You know what I'm saying? You can't want more for somebody than they want for themselves. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. So with that, there was a confessional scene, I believe, with Melanie basically saying she's got an angel and a devil. The angel is telling her, you know what I'm saying, things will work out this time with her and Sincere. The devil's telling her, H-E-double-L, no, end this, boo this man, all this and all of that. So basically, Anaya was like, listen, look at here, follow your heart. And Trinity agreed. Trinity agreed for Melanie to follow her heart. So then, you guys, the conversation with the fellas turns back to Sincere as he is in his talk with Corbin and Casey. Basically says that he was shameful. He says there's no future with him and Amora, that's over. And he said basically seeing on 4K on movie night, how he was moving with Amora, how he was moving with Soul was not okay. And basically, Casey was like, it's going to take some time, or whatever the case may be, that it's going to be brick by brick. Sincere then says the house was originally built on straws and the foundation was not concrete. Sincere says there is unfinished business between him and Melanie. I just cannot. Then Carl and Amora have a chat at the kitchen, I believe, and they're basically like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, Bombshell? Hey, what's up, Bombshell? How are you? I'm just checking in. Carl, haven't y'all seen each other and interacted? Y'all haven't talked in 3 days? Y'all haven't talked in 3 days at all? but y'all swore Carl had the ick from Anaya and was going to pursue things with Amora, all for the simple fact that he said that Amora was pretty on After Sun. Listen, I think Morris Chestnut is fine. But I know that is a married man, you guys. So therefore, there is nothing for me to pursue. You can find people attractive and keep it pushing. I don't know what's wrong with some of y'all. So anyways, we have a situation where Bryce and Caleb are gossiping about Jaden. Because apparently, allegedly, Jaden has not been talking to Caleb since she got back from Casa Amor because she doesn't like you. Because Gal, Jaden, TT, I'm still on the fence about. TT has some of y'all fooled. I am, and locate Amora as well. A lot of these Casa people, they're just trying to make the villa. They're just trying to make the villa. They don't necessarily like you. They studied you from the Fiji hotel for 3 weeks to see what to do to potentially get picked to make the villa, you guys. And they get to bask in all of the followers, the brand deals, the opportunities, the longer they stay in the villa and make a name for themselves. So basically, Caleb was like, I don't think she's into me. They haven't had any conversations, all of this and all of that. Jaden is talking to everybody but him. But my question is this, Caleb. Why didn't you explore any other connections with anyone else if basically you were getting ignored from Jaden this whole time? That is weird. So then we got on the other side. It's like Corbin and Persian Cat and Jaden, and I don't know who else was over there. But anyways, Jaden was in earshot of hearing Bryce and Caleb talk SHIT about her. And Persian Cat was like, listen, look here, you need to go over there and regulate. You need to go over there and say, I heard my name. You could say it to my face. So eventually Jaden goes over there and is like, are y'all just going to sit here and talk about me as if we are just not, you know what I'm saying? Well, we're just socially distanced from each other, but I can hear my name. I know you're talking about me. So what happens is Caleb and Jaden go for a chat and say less, and it was a hot mess express, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm just confused why we had to be exposed to so much Jaden and Caleb content tonight. But I figured out the reason by the end of the episode. These two have nothing in common. They are incompatible. Caleb wanted Persian Cat first at Casa Amor, and then Corbin swooped Persian Cat right from under him, just like he swooped back Kenzie. And you guys are a couple of convenience. Because how are you in the villa this entire time and y'all not interacting? Make it make sense. So Jaden was like, listen, look at here. In order for us to be a connection, there needs to be something for us to connect on. So it sounded like to me, Jaden had been off of Caleb. And I thought we knew this. I thought Jaden just told us the other day that she wasn't feeling Caleb, that she wasn't attracted to him or any of the things. And then it is Caleb that is asking her for them to take pictures together. And that is Caleb asking for more hugs and more kisses and stuff to do in bed and stuff. I don't think Caleb has any game. I don't think Caleb has any game. I don't think Caleb ever fit in this cast. Just like I don't feel like Soul fit in with this cast. I feel like they dropped the ball with these bombshells. These bombshells presented themselves. They gave us a false representation. Him, Soul, and Jen were false advertising. They are all sweethearts and teddy bears at hearts, but they made it seem like they were going to come in and steal your man or steal your girl, and that just was never the energy that they were giving. Really, Caleb should have been out of here when Soul got dumped, if we're going to keep it a buck. But the girls felt sorry for him, you know what I'm saying, and wanted to give him another chance. But honestly, Gabe should have stayed over Caleb. Gabe should have stayed over Caleb. And he would have made Casa Amor a lot more fun. A lot more fun. Anyways, that was that with the conversation. And ultimately, as well, we have a conversation with Mel. And see, this is why, when y'all be dragging these Islanders about Mel and Sincere, why is Melanie asking Corbin in the kitchen whether or not she should share a bed with Sincere? This is what I'm talking about. This is the SHIT I am talking about. Melanie wants Sincere. So y'all can get mad at whoever is Team Melanie and Sincere in that villa, but Melanie wants that man. And that is the bottom line. So remember when Corbin told us movie night after the OG Villa Girls cussed him out that he was never talking to the OG Villa Girls again? Corbin was like, listen, look at here. You know what I'm saying? I really don't want to answer the question for Sincere. I can't really speak for Sincere and all of the things. And I was like, I thought you don't speak to the OG Villa Girls, Corbin. And so Melanie was like, okay, that's Gucci. Can you give me a hug? So then you guys, Jen is pissed off. So we get to the dressing room with the girls as the girls are getting ready for bed for the evening or whatever else. And Jen is really pissed at Gal, how she's the one that brought Gal into this villa and he has the potential to send her home. But Jen, here's the thing, right? I'm going to say this in every single video. You had an opportunity to choose another guy the moment you found out Gal like Kenzie. You knew how Kenzie moves in this villa, how she likes to juggle between two men and all of the things. You played yourself. You played yourself. And how long was it? Not even a day or two? Gal was already off you and basically told you he wanted to explore Kenzie. So I don't know what you're upset about. Sorry, y'all. I had to vote. I'll let y'all know my vote at the end of this. So anyways, in the dressing room, like I said with Jen, she's crashing out or whatever the case may be. Also, you know, Mel is contemplating on whether or not she wants to sleep in the bed with Sincere. Basically, Anaya's like, if you want to F with him or not, you know what I'm saying. Now, in the first look, they made this scene between Mel and Anaya as if they were arguing for real. And really, it was play fighting. It was play arguing about Sincere and Melanie and all the things. And unfortunately, Anaya gets drugged up and through here every single day, 24/7. And after this episode, the entire villa, with the exception of the two people that did what they did at the end of the episode, want Sincere and Mel together, right? So Melanie, guess what she decides? She decides to go into the bed with Sincere. Now, here is the thing, right? I think what Anaya and Trinity really want to say that they are not allowed to say technically, because it's technically a game and you're not supposed to technically be obvious about the gaming. However, I think what they really want to say is that, Melanie, we do not want you to leave this villa. Melanie, you're our girl. If you are not going to deal with Sincere anymore, that means you are single and vulnerable, and we know that you do not have any other connections. So with that in mind, do you still want to be done with Sincere or not? But the other side is Melanie still wants to deal with Sincere. Like that's the part that the people want to leave out, is that Mel is not completely done with Sincere, regardless of what the villa thinks or not. So then I thought it was interesting, you guys. I don't know if y'all peeped the bed scenes. So nobody really was doing anything in the bed. Some people were cuddling, some were not, right? Of course, Corbin is going to get down with the Persian cat. You know what I'm saying? Like he always does. No surprise there. But what was interesting, you guys, they forgot to mention a couple that was in bed. They forgot to mention TT and Casey. And I rewound it 3 times. Let me know in the comments if y'all saw that. They forgot to mention Casey and TT. And I was like, is this foreshadowing? Like, what are we doing? They did not announce Casey and TT in the bed, you guys. If I'm lying, I'm flying. I did not see it. I did not see it. So ultimately, we get to the next morning. Zack Attack is talking about having morning wood, and Carl said, chop the wood down. Listen, Carl is too mature for this villa. You know what I'm saying? He is too mature for these type of games. It shut Zack Attack right up, though. We didn't hear any more nonsense. I know that. So then, you guys, we then have Gal. So apparently Carl has stopped making breakfast for Amora, which I think is an interesting development, you guys. Gal now is taking on breakfast duties for Amora and Jen. And now he's the one saying that he does not want anyone left out. So are you guys, I'm going to ask again, are you still trying to push Amora and Carl? I just want to know, right? So some of y'all theories be interesting, right? So ultimately, Jen is still just, she's not feeling her featuring Gal or anything like that. Amora said she's not going to force a connection to stay here. Then Carl brought Anaya breakfast, and I think he made some type of flower, but they didn't show us what the flower is. The swimsuits that Anaya and Trinity had on today, chef's kiss. Oh my gosh, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss, right? So then Dylan is doing a throwback. He is up here in the mirror talking about how the breakfast is on fleek. And he goes into the photo booth to take pictures of himself with the breakfast. Now here's the thing, you guys. I don't know about y'all, but if I'm getting some food, you know what I'm saying, some cooked food or whatever else, whether it's at the restaurant, carry out, whatever the case may be, or you're cooking at home, I don't need you know what I'm saying? It's one thing if you want to take a picture, you know what I'm saying, and admire your work. But the nonsense that Dylan was doing, by the time it's going to get up to Kenzie, that food is going to be ice cold. Like, what are we doing? Why are we taking a photo shoot as if you have never cooked breakfast before? Like this is all the bare minimum. This is all the bare minimum, and trying to look at his abs and all of this and all of that. So then we have a conversation where Jen is upset again because apparently the breakfast that Gal made her, she's mad that the pancakes did not have syrup with it. And I'm just like, Jen. And she's like, this is the bare minimum, right? So ultimately, everybody's got their breakfast except for Melanie, right? And so Melanie notices and she's pissed off. And so I think Anaya knew that Sincere was trying to do something special for Melanie, but she could not tell her. And she's like, so what is this? Are you Team Sincere, whatever else? And she's like, listen, you know what I'm saying? I'm Team Sincere. And then Kata was like, well, what about Team Melanie's feelings? And she's like, I am Team Melanie's feelings as well. And while they're doing all of this, here comes Sincere with the rose. Talking about, you know what I'm saying? Are y'all clothed? Y'all got y'all clothes on? So he's coming with the rose, and he goes to pull Melanie. And why does Kata and Anaya create a dance talking about Team Sincere? And this is what I'm talking about. Sincere, you know what I'm saying? Anaya, all of the core four, Trinity and Kata this episode, all are Team Sincere, but you only have smoke for Anaya. Why? The whole villa wants Sincere and Melanie together, with the exception of a couple of people. I don't know why we keep doing this, right? I do not know why we keep doing this, right? So, Sincere has some rose petals that lead to Say Less. You know what I'm saying? You know, the same Say Less where he was tonguing Soul Dion multiple times and said that this was the best kiss that he had. So they're having a conversation. Melanie's talking about mangoes and all this and all that. They don't kiss or anything, but basically she wants to see more effort like this from Sincere, where he is planning more dates. It is week 5, you guys. We are nearing the conclusion of week 5, and this is the first date that Sincere has put out for Melanie. So Sincere basically says that he wants to give her what, you know, she deserves. Caleb and Jaden have a conversation, and I honestly didn't care. They basically apologize for raising their voices at each other and that they had a miscommunication. But my question is, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know Jaden don't like you. You know what I mean? Like Caleb, you know Jaden doesn't like you. You know she did what she did to get into the villa after Casa Amor. Like why are we reinventing the wheel? Caleb said he's not an argumentative type of person, right? And so then there was a conversation, you guys. I believe it was with Kata and Jen and I believe Kenzie, right? Because they are all gawking again. They were all like, oh, look at what Sincere did for Melanie with the date. But y'all only concerned about Anaya. Y'all only concerned about Anaya. So Jen's pissed off. Jen's like, listen, look at here. I'm happy for y'all, but I'm sick of all of y'all coupled up. I've had a bad experience, you know what I'm saying? I am picked over. I am chopped liver. Nobody wants me. You know what I'm saying? I just hate men. I know I shouldn't say that, but I just hate men. And I was like, Jen, this sounds like this is your last episode. This sounds like it is donezo for you after this episode. So then Gal has a conversation with Dylan and basically said, here goes Dylan again. Dylan does not like women, y'all. Remember, this is the same Dylan, you know what I'm saying, when Carl came back from being voted in by America and told Carl in front of the guys, oh yeah, Anaya's got to work back for you. She's got to earn you back. She's got to make you breakfast. Da-da-da-da-da. None of that happened. Then he is saying in this conversation, I am tired of Jen's negative energy. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to be attracted to stuff like that. Da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, really, Dylan? The way you are getting played up and down and all around from Kenzie, you really have the audacity right now? Is this what we're doing? Is this what we are doing? So then there was a conversation with Kata, Jaden, and Anaya. And I don't think I've seen this trio together either. It was giving production was trying to facilitate more scenes today with Jen and Jaden, which was giving to me foreshadowing that maybe this is the end of the road and the end of the line for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because there was way too much Caleb, Jen, and Jaden for my liking in this episode. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where is the Carl and Anaya scenes? You know what I'm saying? Where is the Carl scenes? We voted somebody back in. America voted somebody back in. Where is the screen time? Like, what are we doing? So, this conversation with Anaya, Jaden, and Kata, she basically is explaining how she got into a heated argument the night before with Caleb, and they're having some bumps in the road, and all of this and all of that, right? So, ultimately, there is a conversation that Caleb is trying to have with Corbin and Zack Attack about Jaden. To be honest with you, I don't think they cared. I don't think they cared about this or their connection. There's too many bodies in the villa. Speaking of too many bodies in the villa, Caleb gets a text that lets them know, listen, look at here. Tonight is a recoupling. Whoever is not picked is going to be vulnerable, right? Single and vulnerable, like whatever girl is, right? And so it was funny because Anaya was sitting over with Melanie and Trinity, and Melanie is kissing all over Anaya. As much as y'all are trying to pin the women against each other in this villa that live with each other 24/7, it's not always going to be rainbows and flowers. And even y'all misinterpreted the play fighting earlier in the first look. You know what I'm saying? Anaya was all like, you know what I'm saying? I'm currently single and vulnerable right now. I was like, Anaya, be serious. Be serious for right now. She was like, I'm single and vulnerable. And Melanie is kissing on Anaya like Anaya is about to be dumped tonight from the villa. Like, I need y'all to be serious. I need y'all to be for real, right? Why is there a conversation with Casey and TT and Soul Ties? And Casey, once again, has his head up in TT. And he's like, you know what? I think for tonight, you know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be an interesting night for Carl. And I was like, wait, what? Why would it be an interesting night for Carl if he's developing his connection with Anaya? Or are you trying to talk about the bed? Are you concerned about grandma now? Are you concerned about, like what is going on? It felt like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's either two possibilities. Are you concerned with Carl's pick that he's not going to pick Anaya? Or are you concerned about what him and Anaya potentially will or will not do in the bed? Like, it's weird. It is weird, Casey. I thought we were going to let this go. And it's giving to me, this is my opinion, I think he wanted to come back Cordell style with the love triangle. And it did not go as planned now that Carl is in the villa. That's my thoughts. And basically said that Dylan has the power and all of this and all of that, right? So then Amora has a conversation now that she is aware that there's going to be a dumping tonight. And she lets him know, listen, look at here. Jen's been dogging you out in the girls' dressing room up and down and through here. You know what I'm saying? She hates your guts. And so then Carl is nervous because he is up here basically saying to, you know what I'm saying, to the Casa guy that, whoever we pick, somebody's going to get sent home. So Jen is really pissed off again that she is pissed that she basically brought, somebody here that doesn't like her. But again, you could have chose anyone else. You could have chose Ronnie with the tooth, and you did not. Nonetheless, Sincere's getting ready for the evening, and Sincere's like, we've moved past, what happened with Casa Amor and everything else. I was an SHIT back then, but I'm a new man now, and I'm a truther now. I'm a sincere truther, and, Casey was like, but Casa Amor was just last week, dude. Like, what are we talking about, right? So then, you guys, I'm just going to fast forward to the recoupling. You know what I'm saying? Although it is interesting, I am noticing that Casey is getting pep talks or having these conversations with Carl, and I'm in the bathroom, and I'm like, what is the angle here of the Casey and the Carl of it all? I don't know. But we have a long montage of Ariana Maddox and showing us her derriere next to nothing and this outfit and all this and all that. I don't know if she was trying to go for like a little mermaid look or what the tea was or whatever the case may be. But basically, here was the order of the recoupling. Bryce obviously chose Trinity. He went first. I wasn't impressed with his speech. Then we had Corbin choose Persian Cat. We had Dylan choose Kenzie. And then you guys, then we had Zack Attack that chose Kata and some variation of that order, right? So I'm expecting KC to go next. And then Ariana was like, Carl is next. And I was like, oh. I was like, okay. So Carl was like, I want to couple up with this girl because she's very beautiful. She has a good head on her shoulders, and I feel at home with her. He says, although she got my ASS kicked out of the villa, and everybody started laughing, he said, revenge is sweet. I think the girl is a little bit sweeter. And then everyone was like, oh. And here goes Ariana. She was about to be teary-eyed. I don't know. Everybody was clapping before the speech was over. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, y'all men right now in the villa, y'all need to be giving speeches like this to y'all girls. And some of y'all have been in this villa for 5 weeks and are giving the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is just speak to her. You know what I'm saying? Give her some compliments. Make her feel good. You know what I'm saying? Maybe have a little razzle dazzle. Like it was nothing was creative. You know what I'm saying? So then, so him and Anaya are finally a couple, so they get to share a bed again since the last time they did was in Casa Amor. So we will see what happens since Anaya told us at the beginning of the episode that her and Carl are always making out all the time and we never see the footage, and they have a lot of sexual energy, right? And so then Trinity, she is so excited for Anaya and Carl. She's like, yay, cousin. And I think it's so cute. I love the Trinity and Anaya relationship, right? And Ariana asked Anaya, I guess, how she felt about the couple. So she says that she's really grateful for this couple with Carl, right? So then Casey, it's his turn. He says he came inside a fire, and he says he admits that basically TT did all the talking for him and spoke up for him and all of the things. And that anytime he wants to break down, she holds him up. And basically she's been carrying him and he wants to carry her too. And I didn't find this romantic, you guys. I didn't find this worthy of a vote, you know what I'm saying? To vote for best couple. I was not impressed. I was not impressed with this at all. But anyways, they kiss and everything else. So what happens? We get through the rest of the coupling and Gal is left with the final decision to choose Jen or to choose Amora for the couple. So he decides to choose Amora, which dumps Jen, right? I didn't like the dress that Jen had on. So Ariana lets the villain know, listen, I said there was a dumping tonight, but I said there's something else we got to do. There's more bodies that is getting up out this villa tonight. Like Jen is not going to be leaving alone tonight. More people are going to be getting up on out of this villa. So y'all say y'all goodbyes, and I'm going to need y'all to come back. So Jen has a final conversation with Kenzie that they were besties, and she loved that, Kenzie liked that Jen could call her out. No. Kenzie, low-key, you know what I'm saying? Jen is the reason, actually, Jen, you're the reason that you're home. You know what I'm saying? That you're out of here because ultimately you chose the wrong person at Casa Amor. You chose a clout chaser and not somebody you had a better connection with that you were exploring after you found out that you were interested in a clout chaser. Make it make sense, right? So then you guys, all of the islanders have to go back into the garden, right? They have to go back into the garden after they say goodbyes to Jen, right? So Ariana lets them know, you guys all have to vote for two couples that is going to be up one out of this villa immediately. And I was like, oh, and you have to do it face to face. And I was like, oh, I was like, this is the type of time that I am on. Give me more. So we see some deliberation. And I kind of got pissed off at Jaden because she was low-key. It sounded like in her deliberation with Caleb, she was trying to come for Anaya and Carl just because of the simple fact that they just became a couple. But they're kissing all up and down this villa apparently, and we are not seeing the footage. We are not seeing the connection, right? So what I found interesting was the order that was selected, and it was not lost on me that the order went in couples, Anaya and Carl and Trinity and Bryce. And I was like, I see what we're doing here, right? Also, production had Zack Attack go last with his vote, and I low-key felt a way about this because I knew that the easy vote was to get out Gal and Amora. They literally just became a couple. There was no romantic spark, no romantic chemistry, right? I knew the core four was not going to go against each other, right, in the vote. So really, it was going to be Casa people that were going to gun for the OGs, which is what I expected, as well as each other, right? And so I was shook at the votes for Kenzie and Dylan. And I was like, we could finally get her out. You know what I'm saying? And then there were a couple of votes for Melanie and Sincere. And I was like, oh, and one of those votes came from Corbin and Persian Cat. And I was like, really? Really? Right? And so then Kenzie threw a vote to Persian Cat and Corbin. And basically Corbin was like, I think you did this to be spiteful. KC and TT gave a vote to Kenzie and Dylan that I found was very interesting. And once KC did that, Corbin was like, I should have did that. But I think him and KC had a conversation. I think they're gaming. And I think KC did not want to be the one to go after Sincere. And I think Corbin didn't want to be the one to go after Kenzie. But they are definitely gaming. They are absolutely gaming hardcore. The core four really did not want to go against, you know what I'm saying? They did the obvious choices. So it was funny to me because Melanie and Sincere gave a vote to Kenzie and Dylan, and Kenzie was not happy about that. She was not happy about that. Kata hates Casey's guts, you guys. She absolutely cannot stand him. And I think she was contemplating voting him out. But I think Zack Attack was trying to protect KC, and I don't, you know what I'm saying? So, but it was interesting. I was actually kind of surprised, but I shouldn't have been, that Sincere did not get more votes after movie night. Because ultimately what happens on these shows is the Villa OGs try to stick together, try to help each other out. And I felt like Zack Attack's vote was really to help save Kenzie. And I don't know how I feel about that. Even though Caleb and Jalen have did I say Jalen? Caleb and Jaden have no connection, have no romantic spark. Melanie was right in her assessment. Listen, what did I tell y'all? It's always the people that have dysfunctional personal lives that they give the best advice to people. And the best commentary. So she, like I said in her commentary, when she told Anaya, when Anaya was having a breakdown over Casey, she told him, you know, she told her what she needed to tell her to lift her up. But she told Kenzie to her face, listen, look at here. If it wasn't for movie night, you would still be exploring Gal, or you would have tried to be with one of our men. You know what I'm saying? That is not to be trusted up in this villa. I don't know why Kata was so shocked and upset. But what was interesting, Kenzie was so pissed off, she had like hatred in her eyes for Melanie. But what was interesting, there was a back and forth between Kenzie and Persian Cat, because Kenzie was explaining her vote that she just felt Corbin and Persian Cat were just nothing but lust. and Kenzie's the one that's saying this, right? But I found it interesting after they announced that it was going to be Amora and Gal and Jaden and Caleb that was dumped from the villa. Why did Kenzie go right over there to the Persian Cat? You know what I'm saying? Like why do we have all this animosity and tension? The real toe-to-toe showdown has got to be Sunday against Kenzie and Melanie for their votes, right? And we'll see whether or not, if Melanie and Sincere, you know what I'm saying, return any energy back to anybody, right? But that was crazy. That was absolutely insane. Are they going to say anything to Corbin at all? You know what I'm saying, for his vote? Or, you know what I mean? It's going to be very interesting. But that was the episode. So there was a vote, you guys. There was a vote. We got 5 people out of the villa tonight, but more people got to go. So there was a vote for favorite couple, most compatible couple. Listen, look at here. Over here, it is all Karnaya. It is all Carl and Anaya over here. Please, production, show screen time of this couple. Like, what are we doing? Brinity is getting a ghost edit, and so is Carl and Anaya. And I just needed to make it make sense. Like, what are we doing, right? I'm tired of seeing Zack Attack and his scheming on my screen. You know what I'm saying? I am tired of all these Casa people. These Casa people are mean. Oh, they are so mean. Their mean behavior just came off tonight's episode, and it was really off-putting because people, as bad as people like Soul and others want to make it seem like the OGs are the mean girls, it is not giving that at all. It is given that these Casa people, you know what I'm saying, want to ruin people's lives. That's what it felt like to me. I mean, the way Jaden fell off the handle, you know what I'm saying, how TT came in at Casa ready on some knuck if you buck type of time. You know what I mean? It was just a lot. Persian Cat, I don't know why y'all giving votes to the Persian Cat. Rumor has it her and Corbin may have been together for quite some time. And if you're going to go by that logic where y'all spread that rumor that Shelly and Ace were together, shouldn't the logic be that a couple that already knew each other, already lives together in Miami, or already allegedly has been dating or had been entangled before the show? And y'all gonna let them slide all because Corbin gave a vote to Melanie and Sincere? Is this what we're doing? So because they're smashing every night in the bed, that means they deserve a finalist position. Okay. All right, y'all. That is it for this video. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to understand y'all logic sometimes, and y'all logic don't be logicking, right? So with that being said, I need y'all to do me the biggest favor, and that is to hype the video. Hype the video, please. There's that. That is it. That is all. Es todos es final. Es finito. Es the end of the road. It's the end of the line for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post the content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.